In a previous video, we talked about how to make these. I'll throw that link down in the description. Also, if you're subscribed, you probably saw it. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Well, that's not what I want to talk to you about today. Everybody's making these things right now. You need to do something different. So how can you take something like this and make it your own, or put a little twist on it to either increase sales if you're trying to make money woodworking, or if you want to give them as gifts? So let's look at a few of my favorite variations on this tree. Let's get started. So when a lot of people think about Christmas, they think about Christmas trees, but whatever happened to the Christ part of Christmas? So you want a simple addition here. Make a little wooden cross, attach it right in the center there. So all I would do is make your cross, put a little bit of glue on one side, depending which side you want showing. If you do it like this, I did a half lap, so that the two pieces sit flat. You can see I cut halfway through. If you don't know how to do that, I have a video I'll link below. I did these last Easter, but put a little glue on it, set it where you want it. I go somewhere about there, and boom. Another simple variation would be taking the same concept of the cross, but instead of putting a cross on here, cutting a cross out of here. The ideal time to do this would be before you've made the tree. You can do it afterwards, but let me show you the easy way first. So before you've done it, I'm going to put everything together. And we're going to make this as easy as possible. So this seam right here is going to line up with the top of this. So I put it just like this. I'm going to say boom right there. I like that. And I'm going to trace it. And there's my drawing. Now the reason it's easier if you do it this way is I can now take these individual pieces. I'm going to use my jigsaw and I'm just going to go in and notch them out. For this I'm using my Woodstarter battery powered jigsaw. This thing is awesome. So these are all cut. So essentially what I'm doing here is that way. These will all get glued together like that. I'm going to let a couple minutes to dry before I put the border around it, so we'll talk about some other options here. A quick question, can you hear me okay? Because I'm trying a new mic. Some people commented and they said that they couldn't hear me very well in the other videos. So let me know below, is this good or do I need a better mic? This next option basically takes this plain tree and turns it to something personal, and all you need is a clothespin. What I'm going to do here is put some glue on this clothespin. Hot glue would also work. And I'm going to stick it on here. Now, this is going to be to hold a picture. So, if you know it's going to be a picture going this way, then you can go up a little bit higher because you don't need a ton of room. But if you're going to have a picture going landscape, then you're going to want to move it down more so you have more room for the picture. I'll kind of split the difference. I'm going to go around here. Just glue that on. Now, I'll be honest with you, this clothespin seems a little overwhelming. You can get a smaller one though. So that versus that, quite a difference. I think that looks a little bit nicer. It's a little less overwhelming. But if you don't want one this big, you don't want one this big, which is quite a bit smaller, you could go to Dollar Tree and buy a bag of these little guys. And these are super tiny. So it's a lot less obvious that it's there. Almost got to zoom in there to really see it. But it's there. All three of these sizes work. It's really just personal preference. Okay, this thing looks dry. Let's finish this one off. So I've got these pieces cut. But before I put them on, I want to talk about one more thing here. Everything on these kind of blends together if you don't paint them. And a lot of people are saying they really like them when the border is one color and the inside's a different color. So now is the time to do that before you have this thing assembled, because it's a whole lot easier to paint this and this separate than it is trying to cut in your lines here after it's together. So when I'm staining, always make sure I wear gloves, just because this stuff, it's literally called stain. So, you know, it doesn't really come out too easily. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up for 2 different trees, actually. I'm going to stain the outside pieces for one tree, and then the center for a different tree, so I can show you the 2 different ways it looks. And I'm just going to use some espresso here. And all I use is a rag when I'm doing my staining. So what I like to do is just dip it in and basically spread it on and then wipe off the excess. If you like to use a brush, have fun. I just think this is the easiest way to do it. I'm just going to dip it in. Then what I like to do, kind of take a clean end and just kind of wipe off all the excess. Alright, so if you ever gone to close the top on stain or paint and it splattered on you, just take a rag next time, put it over it. No splatter. So stain is drying. I want to show you something cool. A buddy of mine, John, made this for me. It is a 3D printed mug, but it's not a mug to just drink out of. It is a mug that holds a can. That's good stuff. Alright, so it's time to attach these. Looks like that's the bottom one. And boom. So you can see how we're going to get a much different look here. I'm going to use my Woodstarter 2-in-1 brad nailer here. Now we get some contrast there. So I'm going to put this together. Let's see what this one comes out looking like. So we've got a bunch of different styles here. I went with the cutout cross, dark outside, light on the inside. Went with the dark inside, light outside. For this one, I actually did the cross with no frame. The reason I did that is because I ran out of wood to make the frame, but you know what? It's something different. You can imagine it with a frame. This, I used a hardwood here. Maybe use the same wood to do the frame, or do the frame light and use the same wood to do the base. And I did with the clothespin, so you could hang a picture on it. And these are just a few ideas. What if you drilled a little hole through the top and you hung a string and you put an ornament there? You have enough of a gap here. Maybe make it a little thicker if you want to hang out a little bit more. Hang an ornament. On the video where I made the tree initially, somebody said, hey, make one side a Christmas tree. The other side, paint it to look like candy corn. That way you have Christmas and Halloween. So I have 3 questions for you before you go. 1, do you have any other ideas? 2, which of these do you like best? And 3rd, which is probably the most important one, did you subscribe yet?